All right. Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here, and I'm a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we typically use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self-love or self-abuse looks like in our own lives. And we've been talking a lot lately. Well, actually, I've been putting up snippets from the videos that I thought were really poignant points to make. We've been talking about ABUSE lately, certain words we cannot say in the broadcast, right? But we've been talking about that a lot lately, and that's a trigger for me. But in talking about it, I feel like a part of me has become free. And so today I thought that this was a really interesting topic to talk about because I feel like, okay, so we're going to be talking about the number one difference between dating this generation of men and generations of men from the past. So let's take a look at the screenshot. Listen, I don't want your name on my broadcast. I'm putting you in timeout. I'm sorry. I don't want your I don't want your name on my broadcast making your comments. I'm sorry. Life of a BP. You need to go get a different name. We're not down for that over here. All right. So we are going to be reading a series of tweets that I thought were really poignant, really eye-opening, and I wanted to encourage women to continue to move forward, right? So before we jump into that, I want to see who is here from the text notification squad. We're coming in rather late this evening because we have people all over the world, so I want to broadcast at different times so that different people will be able to catch it in their different parts and have a chance to at least be able to see some of the videos live. And also, some of you are working late as well, so come on in. Come on in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody. So if you are on the text notification squad, go ahead and throw up your numbers 10s. I want to see who is in the building. If you are not a part of the text notification squad, the link is in the description, and you can the text notification squad are a select group of people who get text messages whenever I go live. So like tonight, we've already uploaded a few videos in the day. YouTube will try to suppress the views. Facebook suppresses because they don't like the back connection. They like you to come live straight on Facebook. They don't like the way that I'm coming in. So right now there's 188 people on Facebook, 206 on YouTube, and 2 people on Twitter Periscope. We don't see the stats from LinkedIn, but we are live on 4 platforms. So welcome, 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 Text Notification Squad. Welcome to everybody else. You can support the channel with the links below. The cash apps during the broadcast help the channel, and as well as the monthly subscriptions. All links are below. So listen, let's jump into today's video, right? Let's take a look at the comment that spurred this discussion. So there was a person by the name of Reginald, whining, complaining, however you want to put it. What went wrong with marriages in this? Oh gosh, this is just, here we go. Let's continue. What went wrong with marriages in this generation? Men don't trust women, and women feel like they don't even need men anymore. What the F? What the F was the spark to all this? All right. And then Dapper Domo comes out and says, men have to now get women to like them, and a lot of men aren't likable. So he decides to go on. I mean, what do you think about what he's saying so far? Men have to now get women to like them, and a lot of men aren't likable. I want to know what your thoughts are on just that snippet so far. Then he goes on. Let's see if we can make this larger. Let's get this larger on the screen for you all so that we can see what we're looking at, right? And he says, let's be honest about the situation. How many generations of men in history have ever had to get women to like them in order to have women to be with them? We're probably the first to ever have this, so nobody knows what to do. We're 2 generations removed from a woman not being able to have a bank account without a man. 3 to 4 removed from when they couldn't buy a home, couldn't work, couldn't get educated. They couldn't do SHIT without a man, right? All right. Then he goes on to say, women quite literally used to need an N-word. So they had to be with somebody regardless of if they liked the man or not. Today, they truthfully don't. They can leave your ASS and be perfectly fine. Heck, some of them might be better off. What are your thoughts on this so far? I want to hear, what are your thoughts on what he's saying so far? Because I thought what he was saying was really deep. This is the first generation. Think about it. Think about it. You know, a lot of men are still clinging to the days of old. A lot of men are still clinging to the way things used to be. And they're like, where is your man? How come you ain't got no man? Where's your husband? What's your husband, dog? But if you ask them, what is it that you feel that I need a husband for? How would my life be different if I did have one? And just the overarching of that in and of itself shows the inflated sense. Listen, it shows the inflated sense of overvaluing that they have on themselves, that they think that your validation and worth comes from having a man aligned with you, and they don't really realize they're not able to read the room and see the awakening and the reckoning upon us, right? So let's go forward and continue to get into this. Let's continue to get into this, right? Let's go to the next page. All right. So on the next page, let's move this down just a little bit so you can see. All right. I want you all to tell me how true this is. Your grandfather was probably a horrible husband. Like, at best, I mean, because if you think about it, listen, we did a survey the other day about the age that your grandmother was when she first gave birth. Not even when she first was being tampered with by this man, but a lot of people were talking about how their grandmother was 12, 13, 14, giving birth to 30-year-old men's children, 40-year-old men, just tremendous. Some of them were assaulted by men that they were forced to marry because an conception resulted, right? Ayana is saying she wish she had the reserve and patience I have, child. If you only knew, my patience be running short on some of these broadcasts, and fools do be getting cussed out. Oh my Lord, I went off in these last few videos. So let's continue going forward. Like, at best, he was probably emotionally distant and patriarchal. Ends used to have 2 whole families miles apart of each other and was emotionally abusive to both. That's not flying today, and truthfully speaking, it shouldn't. We're gonna do a quick survey. I want you all to tell me, if your grandfather had a family up the block, around the corner, in another neighborhood, should we do the survey on whether it was quiet as kept? Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the survey on whether or not this other family was quiet as kept. If your grandfather had a whole other family that was quiet as kept on the low, but you knew that pop or whatever it is that you called him, grandpa, gammums, whatever you called him, right? If he did have this other relationship, I want you to go ahead and put up the number 1. Let's do 1 for the survey. Go ahead. Let's see. 1. We're doing 1 for the survey. Should we do, okay, so we'll do 1 for the survey, right? Multiple ones, Hazel. My God. My goodness. Multiple? Whew. Oh my goodness, even fathers? All right, well, you know what? Let's do a two-part survey. If your grandfather did have another family, quiet is kept, go ahead and put up the number 1. If your father had another family, go ahead and put up the number 2. I'm not talking about breaking up with the woman he's with, but having a whole other family across town in a different neighborhood that he created without your mother or grandmother knowing about. So you can do 1 slash how should we do this? Yes, you know what? Put 1/2 or 1/0 if your father didn't have that situation going on. We're gonna do the survey all over again because I want to see with this new criteria. So make sure that we do okay. So you can or you can do 0/2 so that we will know, but put a slash because I want to see if grandpa did it, if father did it. So you do 1/2 if it was both of them, 0/2 if it was only your father, or 1/0 if it was only your grandfather. All right. So Tawar had grandfather and father. Rachel had grandfather, not father. Coco had both. Tanya had both. Sharice had grandfather. Sharon had both. This is unbelievable. Treese had grandfather. Okay, Tanya had neither that you knew about. 0/2. Okay, so it was father, quiet is kept. Coco had both. Okay, Deanna had neither. Shafreen had neither. Queen. Okay. I mean, these numbers are, listen. Tanya, why are you putting this name in the chat? All right. So you know what? So, wow. So Doreen was the family that was quiet as kept. I didn't even think of that. Oh my goodness. Let's do another survey. If your family was the family that was quiet as kept, if your family was the alternate family, go ahead and put up the number 3. I want to see what's going. Wait, Lily's, all of that? A bunch of 1s and 2s? Lot of mercy. Okay. Wow. This is unbelievable. So Stevie says, Tanya, you're starting to sound miserable like a window. You're starting to sound like a window. Taste the rainbow. That's my message to you, my dear. Wow. There's a lot out there. Wow. I had no idea. Wow. Somebody's aunt has 22 children? Oh my God, her poor womb. Goodness. Nye was a love child. Wow. This is interesting. Wow. The dust has blown in. Here we go. Taste the rainbow. All right. Let's continue going forward into this. Here we go. So let's see. He says, Ends used to have 2 whole families miles apart of each other and was emotionally abusive to both. That's not flying today, and truthfully speaking, it shouldn't. Then he goes on, a lot of men want the same relationships they saw their families had, but never thought to ask, were the women happy in those situations? I feel like we need to do another survey. I feel like I need to do another survey. All right, so the last number was 3, right? Okay. All right. If your grandmother, Let's see. What should the survey be? Those of you know the inside joke of tasting the rainbow. You all know. You all know what it is. You know what it is. All right. So listen. All right. If your grandmother was happy, put up the number 3. If your grandmother was unhappy, put up the number 4. So grandmother happy, 3, unhappy, 4. If your I'm talking about in relationship to the relationship she had with your grandfather. If she was, wait, no, we did 3 already. Scratch. I'm sorry, we have to scratch those numbers. We did 3 already. Sorry. We're going to do 5 and 6 because 4 and 5 are already corrupted. Sorry. We're going to do 5 and 6. If your grandmother was happy, put up the number 5. If she was not happy, put up the number 6. I'm sorry. We have to scratch those. I'm so sorry. We have to scratch those numbers. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just going to let you all, let's wait the 20 seconds for it to come up. Here we go. Hey, so how is everybody doing out there? I'm just waiting for the numbers to catch up. There's a little bit of a delay. So I'm just gonna, for those of you who thought you was gonna be able to sleep. All right, oh, they're coming in now. Okay. Let's calm this down. Okay. All right. So grandmother not happy. So grandmother, okay. All right, so we have some people whose grandmothers were happy. And some people whose grandmothers were not. All right. Okay. Wow, we've passed 1,000 messages. Okay. Maternal 5, paternal 6. Oh, you know what? Okay. Hey, I love me some soca. All right, so here we go. Oh, okay. All right. This is my grandfather tried to drown my grandmother while she was pregnant. 5 as if she was happy, 6 as if she wasn't. Wow. I'm doing well this evening. As you see, I'm looking super pretty. I don't even have on any concealer. I've just been sleeping so well lately. I'm just feeling and looking fantastic, well rested in my feminine. I've smoothed out my hair and I like the golden color with the darker roots. It's just, I'm looking good. Oh my goodness, Tanya, why are you typing this name in here? And how is this person triggering you? Is this person trolling? Is the person trolling? Let me know because there might be time for the first block party. All right, let's get back to the whatchamacallit. All right. All right. So here we go. All right, so we passed that part. A lot of men want the same relationships they saw their families had. Oh, let me get this. I got to get the other one back up. This is not showing enough. All right. A lot of men want the same relationships they saw their families had, but never thought to ask, were the women happy in those situations? The real answer is a lot of them weren't. So fast forward to today, where a woman, truthfully speaking, don't need your ASS. You got to come harder than your ancestors. Got to have some substance. Let's continue forward. And a lot of these ends just don't got no substance. Not me, though. He's so silly. All right. He's like, not me, though. Y'all be safe out there and follow your boy. Okay. Then creative comes in and says, as women become more financially self-sufficient, dealing with some men and all their drama becomes more of an option than a need. And men do not want to be thought of as an option. All right. And then Domo comes back and says, man, y'all had some terrible grandparents. I didn't think that tweet would hit that hard. Listen, if you saw my survey, son, you would stop in your tracks. All right. So IDGA says, not likable, have outdated misogynistic views, heavily lack introspection, and disregard its importance, and literally have no leverage outside of money, if they even have that. And I'm a Lady says, I wasn't prepared for this level of self-awareness, so it's even more valued. Reginald says, you talking that SHIT in this thread, my boy. Right? Sorry, I got to keep up with it over here. And Road says, and they still won't try to be someone worth being with. They just ratchet up the patriarchal shaming in hopes women will stay, not out of financial necessity, but to avoid the shame of being single. Didn't we talk about that? Didn't we talk about how people try to shame you for being single, but if you ask them, what is it that they feel a man can bring into your life, for just any old man can bring into your life for certain that you have to have, they don't have an answer for it. They don't have an answer for it. Oh, that is the end of the thread. Oh, I was wishing there was more. I probably could have found more, but I didn't. All right. So what are your thoughts about all of this? What are your thoughts? You know, since this video is short enough, I'm actually going to turn on the phone lines. I'm going to turn on the phone lines because we have enough time to talk. So the number is 323-488-3149. We are going to get those phone lines up and running. What is that? Hey, we got a Cash App that came in, and it's from Toy Joy, who sends $5 and says, thank you for all the great content. Thank you so much, Toy Joy. We appreciate your love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to send a Cash App, the link is in the description below. If you don't want your Cash App read on air and you still want to support, you can just send it after we're off air, and then I'll get it and send you an emoji back to respond. All right, so phone lines are open now, 323-488-3149. And I want to hear what you all have to say about this whole situation that we just finished discussing. Is this the first generation where men had to get into relationships with women just based on the merit of who it is that he is, based on how he's developed himself, the internal work that he's done, whether or not he's a good partner? I'm curious. Back in the days, men had these same issues, but they did at least believe in providing. They worked. They were kicked out of the home for welfare. He getting help to feed her kids as an excuse to make more single mothers. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Your son loves that song. Which song? The song for the apples? Somebody said that the sound was irritating to them. They said they loved the apples, but the apples song was awful, they say. But you know, I said, listen, I thought it was fun loving. So I love my women in my family always. I'm glad I know my self-worth and will not lower my standards. Okay. Let's see. Listen, I hear you all. Comment section full of dusty logic, is it? I'm not able to see everybody's comment. Thank goodness, I suppose. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Anya.
Hi, I need you to turn down your whatever it is in the background. I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to read the rules for calling in, right? Who needs the block party? What's happening? Who needs the block party, Black? Talk to me. All right. So the rules for the phone, turn down the volume of whatever it is that you were using to watch me in the background and talk to me through the phone. Be ready to talk and be live on air when you call in. Take down notes if there's something that you wanted to say. That way you can have it organized when you call in. We do not discuss others. other people who called in. We don't discuss other callers on the line. And we have about 5 minutes for each phone call.
Is that better?
All right. You're on the air live with Tanya. Tell us your name.
Anya, I'm sorry. Is that better? Because I was trying to call from one phone while listening to you on the other one.
Let's just be ready to talk. So Anya, let's go
Okay,
forward.
I'm sorry.
Please, I don't really like a lot of over apologizing. Let's just move forward.
Okay, I got that.
So continue. So Anya, what is your comment this evening?
Well, my overall point is how you like to say it is that I don't want to like give out too much information, but going back to that grandparent or great grandparent generation thing, I had one on one of the family sides that she got married when she was only 19. It's complicated. She was kind of pressured into it. And she agreed to it because of the time and, it was a different country. But when one of her children became a teenager, she became mentally ill. So I was thinking maybe there's something that family doesn't tell. But a long time ago, I don't buy it, that it just happened because there was something wrong only with her. I think there had to be something wrong in their relationship. So my overall point is, how many stories are there like that?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. That's so deep and so disturbing. So what ended up happening overall? What happened? How did it resolve itself?
That person never became normal. They died some years back, maybe a little 4, 5, 6 years. They never became normal. That person died mentally ill. Well, the guy ended up taking care of her, but I think he did it because he felt guilty.
Wow. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. All right. So Bussy Popper got himself kicked out. I don't know if he was the one causing problems, but he's gone nonetheless.
But I just wanted to bring up a theory. But I had another question. Like when you were saying how you got that guy that was trolling, I'm sorry to like intervene another thing. Well, that was asking why women don't like the old stuff, blah, blah, blah. But I would think he was trying to say that simply because. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
He was trying to say that because he is one or knows somebody that's interesting to keep up the abuse. They miss the old days. This is just my theory. They missed the old days because they was able to get away with more physical, verbal, and all kinds of abuse. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. There are other content creators talking about the similarities between the desires of modern day men and the Color Purple movie. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I wanted to say I love all your content. One more last point. I'm so trying to push it, but one more thing. One of the red flags for me personally, like that my friends and myself have been through abuse from a guy, and finally we got away with it. But one of the red flags was that I didn't notice, and one of my friends didn't notice in her situation that was similar but completely different timing, different cities, is that person had a friend that was abusing their girlfriend, and they were bragging about their friend how cool it was. But I didn't notice that in the beginning, neither did my friend. But then when things escalated, we noticed that when it was too late. But I mean, I got out of that, so that was a long time ago.
Interesting. So being an abuse apologist. Okay.
Yes. Stand up for his friend. Yes.
Yeah,
You better said that. You took the words right out my mouth.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in, Anya. You did great. Don't be nervous. You did great. All right. Thank you.
Oh no, it's just because it's the technology. It's a little where I'm at. It's a little like signals are like it messes up every now and then. It's a little frustrating.
Right. You did
like
wonderfully.
you know, like so you have sometimes on your broadcast.
Thank you so much. You have a great evening.
Thank you. Sorry about this.
Okay, so all right. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. So there's somebody else in here that you all are saying needs to get gone, taken to the block party. All right, well, let's take a look and see. So 323-488-3149. And what are your thoughts about all of this that we've been talking about? Have men had to develop their personalities? Were our grandmothers even happy? Were they able to leave the relationships because of the stigma of getting divorced? All of these questions, 323-488-3149. All right. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Mar.
Hi, Mar. What is your comment this evening?
So I was just watching and I was thinking about this from another perspective because although I am Black, I am not American, and so I am Muslim and I am Arab and I'm a first generation American, and it just makes me think about how like in my culture, if I were to be living back home, I wouldn't even be able to leave the house, even if I was like 30 or 45. I would not be able to live on my own unless I have a husband. And when I was young, my mom, like all of her answers to all of my questions is like, when you get a husband? I'm like, when would I be able to do this? And she's like, when you get a husband. So my whole life I had been taught that having a husband brings you like this kind of freedom. And now that I have immigrated to the United States, I don't really think that is necessary. I am 22 and I just leased my first apartment about a month ago. So I am moving out.
Congratulations.
You. I have a job on my own, and I realized that I don't really need to have a man to be able to function and to be able to do what I want to do. So this is one of the things. And another thing that made me think about is I am culturally Muslim. I don't really practice the religion as much,
Mm-hmm.
but in religion, my mom is a second wife, so she knew that my father had a first wife. She's a second wife. My father has a third wife, and was thinking and joking even about having a fourth wife. And in my culture, that is acceptable and appropriate, and women would put themselves through that all the time. But like personally right now, I would rather not to have a husband than to share my husband with three different women.
So
You know
I'm
what I
so
mean? And then there's
confused. I'm confused because you were raised Muslim and you
yes,
consider him having additional wives to be sharing him?
yes, no, personally I do. I was raised a Muslim, but also the thing about Islam is, so there is a book and there isn't like any, like a key to the book. You read the book and it's based on how you interpret it. And to my
Mm.
interpretation and to the interpretation of many other people, you're actually not allowed to have multiple wives. And it just happens that most of like the keepers of the religion, most of the people who interpret the religion happen to be men. Like
Mm.
99% of them are men, and obviously they would interpret the religion to fit what they want it to fit.
Where
And
do you
that's
think the
why,
confusion comes in, though? Where's the discrepancy? Does it actually say that a man can have four wives, or does it say that he's not supposed to have additional wives? What's the thing that's being misinterpreted?
so the thing that is being misinterpreted is the difference between, it says that you are allowed to marry once, twice, thrice, and four times. It does not say at the same time. To my
Oh.
interpretation, if you were to marry once and get divorced, you can marry again. If you were to get married and be widowed, you can marry again up to four times. It does not say that you are allowed to marry these four women at the same time. And of course, the rest of the population, which are the men, decided that they're going to go with the other interpretation. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, that's how I see it. I mean, there are a lot of people in the world who agree with me, but the majority does not. Um, and honestly, because in my opinion, most of the women are brainwashed into thinking that way, or they know that
Mm.
if they just disagree with that, then they're most likely not going to get married, and that would just basically stop their life because he would be 40-year-old women living with their parents at home, and also there is the whole shame of not being married um, in the culture, and it's really sad. And
Wow.
I'm really happy to be in this country, to be able to have my own thoughts and do whatever I want. Um, I mean, with limitation, even being there's a difference between being in a predominantly almost all the people I have ever seen in my life before I came to America were black, so I never really face, discrimination. Or, for example, I watch a lot of your videos, so I know a lot of stuff. So, like, the last video I watched was about being the dark skinned girl. So, I am super dark skinned, and I feel like there is a lot of um, difficulties when it comes to like to the dating world and all of that. And I would have never really experienced that as much in my country because almost
Mm.
everyone is dark skinned. So there's these kind of, and like, police brutality and all of that
Mm.
when it comes to America. But then there are amazing parts about America, as in being, at least free to, it's not even to do whatever you want. You're free to express your thoughts, and you're free to try to change the world to what you want it to be.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And just know that you are not missing out on the type of person who is disqualifying you based on how much melanin you have. Disqualifying or qualifying a person based on melanin, especially the people who are disqualifying for the more melanin a person has. You are not missing out. I don't know if you see
Yeah,
Cynthia G's videos because they are getting the same black man that are messing up in other people's communities. So
I
you
know.
are.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it at all. I just am happy actually that they're out of my life because I don't want that kind of thought and negativity in my life. So they're doing me a service.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. We are actually going to take one more phone call and then we're going to hop out of here because I want to keep the broadcast short. So I really want you all to get your points of views in now because there's so much to discuss about this. Were our grandmothers happy? Why do we still have this looming ridicule for women who make a choice not to be listen, if you have seen the survey data, you know that women who are single and child free are among the happiest in society. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, Tanya. This is Melfo.
Novo.
Melfo.
Oh
Um,
wait, I, your
that
name
like
sounds
when I
familiar.
log in, it says Melfo.
Oh, okay. Well, Melfo, thank you so much for calling in. Welcome. So, what is your comment this evening?
um, One of the big differences I think between like our generation and like my mother's generation is secrets. Um, my
Mm.
mother, she kept a lot of secrets, and she still keeps. She's gonna die with a lot of her secrets. My uncles, they won't even say certain things like the abuse that they went through. My mother and her sisters, very light skinned, like they're white passing. And my uncles are like a paper bag brown. And so the dark people in on my mom's side of the family, they got abused physically, while like the light skin, they got raped.
Really?
And there was like a lot of
What?
other.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So and then my grandmother married my mother to my father, who was 23 years older than her. My mother was maybe like 17, 18. And
So what, he was
so
40?
he was 40.
Oh
My
my
mother was
God.
17.
Wow. Okay.
And so there was a lot of like secrets. I think like I hear when I speak to like my mom's generation, like they're taking stuff to the grave. Like if there was cheating, if there was like they just kind of turned a blind eye. Even my best friend, her mother, her father had a whole separate family. There was her siblings, 8 siblings. She was the ninth. And then but he had a whole another side family, and her mom just kind of pretended not to even see it. And she knew about it, but it's like they kind of ignored a lot of things.
This is so sad. I don't even know what to say. This is just, the pathology of it is just so toxic and so pervasive throughout the fabric of so many cultures, Black cultures, I don't know about others, just across the United States and other countries across the world. It's really disheartening.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you
I think
sharing
our
your
generation is just
story.
starting to. Hello.
Yeah, I said we appreciate you sharing your story.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Tanya.
Oh no, you were saying our generation, you have a few more moments on your call.
Oh, yes. I was saying I think our generation speaks up a little bit more and just not trying to keep like we. I know I saw the faults of my mom, and I there's a lot of things I didn't respect, and because I've seen my mom, raped in front of me, beat in front of me,
Wait, what?
and
How? How could you see something like that?
one of her boyfriends was doing cocaine in my room one day, and my mom, she came in. I walked in the room, and he just lunged at me, and my mom, she pushed me out of the way, and he grabbed her because he was coming to lunge at me. And he grabbed her and pulled her into the room, and my mom was just kind of yelling at me to run down the hallway and go down the stairs, and but I didn't want to leave my mom. And so, and then one of her ways of protecting me was lying, hiding things. She sent me to live with other people. And so it was a lot of things. It was just, to this day, she won't talk about, she won't admit, but she knows I know. She just, she won't talk about it.
But she stayed with
Even if I saw
him?
it. I'm sorry.
She stayed with him?
Um, well, she had her own little drug problem. So yeah.
Mm.
And then she she has a lot of, there was a lot of issues. I mean, I can kind of see why. She said my dad beat her. She said a couple of her boyfriends beat her. A couple of her boyfriends were drug dealers, drug addicts, stuff like that. And so it's just kind of her relationship with me and her other and my brother were practically non-existent. But it was just kind of one of those things. The family just didn't talk about it, and they just kind of, everything's fine. They gloss over it. And I do think that's one of the biggest things that is different from this generation and the last generation, because I've heard a lot of my other friends, they'll say stuff, but their parents won't even acknowledge like that it was even a thing, or it's uh
Wow.
it's
And
in the past. Stop push
people want to know how old you are.
me. I'm 37.
I'm sorry, you're 47?
30. 37.
You have such a little voice.
Yeah, I'm a small person. I'm 4'11", about 115 pounds.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
tiny.
People want to know whether or not you have gotten therapy, help, psychological assistance to be able to help you heal from some of the trauma you experienced and witnessed.
Actually, yes. More because crazy thing is, I actually ended up marrying the male version of my mother, and I didn't realize it until maybe 3 years into our marriage, and then he started getting very emotionally, verbally abused, and that ended up with him sexually assaulting me and with guns. He was hiding guns, collecting guns, and he would threaten to kill both of us and stuff like that. So it
He
wasn't
would
until
threaten to
after that
what?
that I kind of realized. Hmm?
He would threaten to what? I didn't hear that. It was muffled.
Yeah, like he would do things like he was becoming increasingly verbally abusive, and like he would call me on the phone like, "Oh, I just want to tell you I love you," and he'd rock around in the chamber. He'd yell at me for mistakes that he made. Like if he changed lanes, that was my fault. I couldn't even get out of bed to use the bathroom. Sometimes he'd cuss me out, and
Wait, he was
he
peeing in the
did not.
bed?
No, he wouldn't let me get out of bed to use the bathroom.
What was his
So
reason for
I
not letting
really
you out of the bed to use the bathroom?
because I would wake him up. Like if I woke him up, he'd
Oh,
he'd he'd be upset the whole day. And
got you.
so yeah, it the incident with the shotgun that he had, um and the I guess I should say SA instead of the actual
Mm,
word.
yeah.
Um that kind of messed me up because um that night I really did feel like he was going to kill me, and we were I'm still in the military. He got discharged out of the military, whatever. But the command, they didn't really help me um, until he pulled a gun out on some of his junior Marines, and then they finally took care of him, the situation.
Hmm. So we're
But
talking about a
yeah,
military man here.
now it's safer for me, kind of like I'm going through therapy because like I haven't been in a relationship since, and that was like 10 years ago. Like I can't do it.
Okay, and you said you're currently in therapy right now?
I am,
Okay, okay,
and
wonderful.
that's another difference because my mother, she will not go to a therapist. She
Mm,
won't do it because that's admitting that it happened.
right.
Like actually, almost my whole generation, my whole mom, her siblings, all of them, they're like that. Therapy, like that's out the window. They're not doing that.
What was the final straw for you that made you decide to get out?
Um, he told me one thing I will not compromise on is my religion, and he was just kind of like he told me we could save our marriage if I started drinking and cussing, and because he wanted more, like he wanted a toxic relationship, and like he would start arguments, and I was a psych major at the time, and I was just like, I'm not feeding into this. So I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't give him the argument that he was looking for. I wouldn't give him the reactions and it would frustrate him even more. And so I think it was just kind of like that, kind of like the moment I realized I was just like, I can't help him. because I think I stayed because I knew the type of abuse he went through, and I really wanted to help him. But I was just like, no, he likes being toxic. He likes having an environment that's unhealthy. It gives him something to.
Yeah. So you said he was the male version of your mother. So your mother was also abusive?
Yeah, my mom was like, when I was with her, living with her, I didn't really like it because I was all kinds of B's, heifers, nothing. Like she wouldn't want me to shower every day. She like maybe a couple times a week because I'd run up the water. She was just like, I don't know. She was she'd curse me out if her boyfriends did something and then blame it on me. And I was like, wait, you just threatened to kick me out of the house, but it wasn't even me. You know,
Gotcha.
She was very.
What's your relationship with her like now? Oh, you said she passed away, right?
Oh, no. My father passed away. My mother, she's still alive. We're cool. I had to cut my mom off for about 3-4 years, though. I stopped talking to her. My final straw was her calling me up talking about she didn't want to live anymore. And then I cut her off for about 4 years. So she kind of got it together after
when
that.
She called you saying she was going to take herself out, you were like, look, I can't talk to you no more?
Yeah, like, because I was deployed. I was in Okinawa. I was forward deployed. I was in a different country. And so I had just given my mother $10,000 to help her get on her feet because, she wasn't doing too well at the time. And no, I gave her, check that, 10? Might have been 15. I don't even remember anymore. I don't care. But she lost 10. I gave her 15. She lost 10 and wanted to end her life. That's what happened.
Lost 10?
And I
lost it where?
Yeah.
Well, you just lose 10 at? A fervent breeze blew it out of her purse and into the air?
No. So she tried to do a business investment,
like Wendy Williams' husband. Oh my goodness!
No, she wanted to own her own kind of like business, and she got scammed.
This is the same thing Wendy said happened when you give people money that don't know how to handle it. That's what she said was going to happen to Avocado Brown. Lord have mercy. You know what? So you said enough with this, and you changed your number, and you was like konnichiwa, otsukara sama desu, and you was done. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, congratulations on your strength to be able to do what you need to do that's right for you. People want to know whether you have children and when you think you'll be able to date again.
I don't have any children. I don't even think I want kids. As far as I don't see myself in a relationship.
Well, you know what? Continue to get your therapy, and what is meant for you will be for you. So thank you so much for calling in. Big hugs and love to you, and continue pushing forward, okay?
Thank you, Tanya. I love your show.
We love you too, my dear. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
All right. My. Listen, I appreciate all of you coming out for the broadcast. I feel that for an impromptu broadcast, I think we did really well talking about this topic. So I appreciate all of you for coming out. What's the last thing that we need to do while we are here? What is that? So let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have. So I appreciate all of you who help support the show with the apples and the monthly subscription. So thank you. You are the apple of my eye. So Tiffany sends $5 to support the show. Thank you, Tiffany. And TD sends, let's see, $5 and says, thank you for that Taste the Rainbow sound effect here. Taste the rainbow. They know what time it is. Thank you so much, TD. We appreciate that love. Thank you. And Shelly sends $10. Hey, Shelly Shell, thank you so much for the love. We appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. All right. And Adrian sends $2 and says, I received your self-love book. Excited to start the new chapter. Absolutely, the book is so powerful. So make sure that you dive into that. Maurice sends $15 and says, I want to call in. Maurice, listen, we were going to have a broadcast that was under 1 hour tonight. Oh, okay, you can call in, Maurice. Man, we were just wrapping up things. All right, you can call in. So, and Anna sends $5 and says, peace and love. What's this picture you got up there, Anna? Some mouth biting on a cherry? Okay, my dear. Okay, peace and love, huh? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let us get the phone line open one last time so that Maurice can call in. Phone line is open for you, Maurice. We're waiting for you. Let's see if this is Maurice or not. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hello, Tanya. It's Maurice.
Okay, hi, Maurice. So talk to us.
Okay, you're actually kind of lucky because I can't sleep tonight, and the main reason why I can't sleep is basically what you're talking about right now. And as you know that I'm Haitian. I was born in Haiti. When I was in Haiti, my mother gave me up to a lady down the street when I was 2.
Oh.
Okay, and then when I became of age, like around 7 or 8, my biological father come to bring us me and my siblings to the U.S. But he had other siblings with another woman, and he only took me from my mother, and the other woman had 3 other kids, 1 girl and 2 twin boys. And then the girl that the other woman had, me and her are 10 months apart. And we came to the U.S. in 1988. And while we were here in the U.S., he had already remarried another woman and had a child with her. So now we're living in a house. There's 5 of us, 3 different mothers. And then the house, he was renting one of the rooms to one of his best friend at his wedding, and he was sexually molesting me in the house. So when it all came out, my father kind of blamed me for it. So on top of the rape, child abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, DSS, Department of Social Services, ended up taking us away from him.
And you said you were 12 at that time, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we went
and this
into
went on
DSS
for 4
around
years between the age of 12 and 16, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So when I went into DSS, I went through 5 foster homes, 5 shelters. And throughout my life, I always told myself, I'm not going to end up with somebody like my father or repeat those same things that my culture does. So I waited to get married. I went to school. Then I joined the military. And then when I was in the military, I met this quote unquote wonderful man, and he was from his family's from Barbados. And the most things we had in common was that he came up from a abusive household as well, which I thought was great because we could get along. I was totally, totally, totally wrong. He wasn't abusive physically, but he was very, very manipulative.
Mm.
But he wouldn't stop cheating. The last straw was when he always cheated more when I was pregnant. Because when I was pregnant with my first son, he cheated. I told him I was gonna leave, and our families talked to each other, and we stayed. And then we moved to a new state, and then the marriage continues. And then I got pregnant again, and then the cheating got worse. So when I finally caught him cheating, that time I said, you know what, I'm done. But what made it worse for me, that cheating, was that the woman was a friend, or more so a little sister. I treated her like a little sister. And I was about 4 to 5 months pregnant at the time when I caught them. I said, you know what? You didn't learn your lesson. I turned both of them in because he was still in the military, she was still in the military, and he was her boss. Turned them in. Throughout the whole investigation, the military did a whole investigation. She got demoted, he got kicked out. The irony is the reason why I'm telling you the whole story. Who got blocked?
Okay, Keo. Hey, you're done, man. You're done. All right. I'm sorry for that interruption. Please go forward.
The irony is that after the divorce with me and my ex-husband, I hit like a depression because I felt like I failed. Like the main thing in life that I told myself I was never gonna do was to allow my kids to be in a household without both parents in a healthy home and so on and so forth. And then come to find out, my biggest fear came to light. He ended up staying with the woman.
Mm-hmm. Now they deserve
Pregnant.
each other.
And her first son and my youngest are 10 months apart, just like me and my sister.
Oh, how interesting.
And I was like devastated. It wasn't so much because I knew he was a cheater and I knew he was going to do something like that. It's just that I felt like as a mother, I failed my children because I didn't want to repeat the same thing, that same cycle that my ancestors, my family did, and I didn't want that for my children. So I had to go through a lot of therapy for that. And so I totally understand, like, there's a lot of men that does this and they don't understand how devastating it is. And the reason why I say that I'm up tonight is like in 2002, I went back to Haiti to meet my mother for the first time. And I tried to take care of her and stuff like that. And she basically treated me like a bank. So I came in and out of helping and not helping, helping and not helping. I bought her a piece of land. She told me she didn't want the land. And every time I tell her I don't have any money to help her, she constantly reminds me that when she was pregnant with me, when she found out my father was cheating with the other woman from my siblings, and she wanted to abort me. And then I was like, okay. And she's like, well, since you won't give me any money, you think you're all high and mighty where you're at. I should have aborted you when I was pregnant with you.
Was too late now,
So,
Mother Effa. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Let me close my mouth.
So
Go ahead.
she has other kids that live in Haiti with her. And it's just like I tried to have a relationship with her and I couldn't. It just was weird. So this Saturday, one of my siblings called me and told me that she passed away. And my cousin calls and she's all crying, boo ha ha, and then I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't feel nothing. She's like, oh, you're not coming for the funeral. I was like, no. I was like, I don't know her like you all know her. I didn't grow up with her. I don't have a relationship with her to have feelings that now that she's gone. It's like they expect me to be all emotional that my mother passed away, and I'm not. And they don't understand it because they're so stuck in like the last caller said, that they're stuck in that culture that to them it's kind of acceptable. And then like when my sister texted me and she wanted me to help with the funeral expenses, I told her I couldn't. She said, well, it's your homework or it's your duty to help as a sibling. We're all going to chip in, so therefore you need to chip in too. But I was like, I don't have any feelings, no connection to this woman. So it's like, it's been bothering me, but it's like, I just don't understand. Like some people, they see things in their life and as a child that are wrong, yet when they become adults, they repeat those same wrongs. And I don't understand what process people go through to think that the cycle needs to be broken somewhere. I just don't understand why it doesn't click to them to break that cycle. And it's like something that's hard for me to understand, and I don't get it. It's like it hurts you. You had to go to therapy for it. Why would you want your children to go through that same process that you went through?
Well, you know what?
You
It's
know, because
all
I've
of
had.
these patterns. They
Hmm.
seem so familiar. It's like you it's like you hear a thing or feel an energy that feels familiar to you. It feels like home. Like if you think about your broken in slippers or that broken in chair or that broken in sweatshirt. It may be holy, it may be, all of these things, but it's worn in and you know where all the holes are. And so it's just a part of the programming. So you and part of the mistake that a lot of us make is we try to move away from a thing instead of towards what it is that we want. We try to move away from what it is that we don't want. And this is why it's so important to get a book like the Book of Affirmations Self Love, which is available right now on Amazon, because the affirmations are crafted in such a way to be able to help you shift your life towards what it is that you do want instead of trying to, because when you try to shift your life away from a thing, so if you say, I will not be in an abusive relationship like my mother, I will not do this, I will not do that, it stays tethered to you like a parachute, because wherever you go, that thing that you said you will not be is still attached to your back, because you're like, I will not be this thing, and you just keep maneuvering, but that thing is still attached to you. So it's like the difference between the system that we have now in this country that is really sick care, not health care. You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like, what would doctoring in this country be like if the emphasis was on health? What would the quote unquote war on drugs be like if the emphasis was on mental health and healthy ways of integrating and dealing with life, etc. So so there's so much that's just so intricate about the way that the mind works. So if there's anybody out there who is thinking, I will not be this, change your focus into saying, I am the thing that you want, and just allow that to come to you.
Okay. Hmm. That makes sense. That makes sense. So that'll alleviate a lot of heartache. Because I mean, I'm still single now because I'm like mm-mm. Like you said, I keep saying I'm not putting up with BS. After my marriage, it took me almost 3 years to start dating again because the depression that I was in. And then when I started dating again, as soon as I see red flags, I'm like, this ain't it. I call it off. So I've been single. I mean, I've dated here and there, but I've been single most of the part because I believe in taking breaks after each breakup anyways. But it's just like the guys now to date is just, it's hard finding a nice man.
That's an affirmation. Also, and you're doing exactly what we just talked about. I don't deal with the BS. What is the affirmation? If you're going to talk about relationships, what is the affirmation leading towards what it is that you do want?
I want a man that's family oriented, loves children, loves family, loves to do things together as a family
Not
unit,
that you want, not that you want, because wanting, if you want a thing, you are attached now to the feeling of wanting. So what it is you attract healthy, vibrant, functioning love. That's what you attract. I attract healthy. You have the self-love affirmation book,
hmm
right? So go. You want to go grab your book since you said you up anyway. Go grab your book.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Girl, I don't know
Mm.
where it is, to be honest with you.
Oh, what is ya? Excuse me?
No, cause you got
Shouldn't it be by
I've
your
been doing a lot of
nightstand?
stuff around the house. Trust me.
How did it get moved from your nightstand? Because these are affirmations you're supposed to write at night before you go to bed.
Well, I did it a while ago though. I've
The
had it
book
for a
is
while.
still okay.
I will find it and I'll go over it again. Okay, I promise you that. Because I'm gonna have time. Because I'm going on vacation next week.
You go
So
into our
you know.
land in Haiti?
No, oh no. My brothers called me today actually in Massachusetts, and they're paying for my tickets because they want to see me. I haven't seen them in almost 2 years.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I know what they want. They want me to come home and cook.
Oh, well, name a good Haitian dish that we need to know about.
That's I know you're vegan, so you don't eat meat, right?
I didn't hear you name a
Or do you
dish
eat?
yet. What's the
Okay, sweet
dish?
eye.
What is sweet
Sweet eye is
eye?
basically it's fried vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
and my favorite part of it is that yam. It's a yam that kind of looks purplish,
Okay.
and you grind it up and you put spice in it and stuff like that, and a little bit of baking soda, and you fry it. It kind of puffs up, and then you
Oh.
do sweet potato. You fry sweet potato. You fry plantains. You
Sweet
fry
eye, you
the
call it
yam.
EYE?
Fritay.
Fritai?
Yeah, it's basically a combination of fried vegetables, and then it's followed with fried either fried pork or fried goat or fried beef, and then they have the vegetables. We use hot sauce, but our form of hot sauce kind of looks like coleslaw, but it's pickled with
All
habanero
right.
peppers,
So this, I did
and
a
it's very
search
very
for something
spicy.
called fritai, and let's see
hmm
what they. Uh-oh. When we start having these issues, let me make sure because I don't want to have no problems on my broadcast today. So let me see. How do I do this? Let me hold on. Let me go to back to my other screen. Okay. And then let
Yeah,
me
I
go into my studio and then let me come to my thing. I'm sorry, I'm trying to stop anything from crashing. So give me
that
one
daily.
second. Because you know we be having some issues. All right, I finally got it. There we go. Hey, give me a round of applause, y'all. I got it now. Whoop, whoop. All right. So you say this thing. Okay. So are you looking to come look at the screen? Tell me which one of these is free tie, cause I don't know what I'm
It's
looking at.
it's
Everything
basically
look
the platter.
fried.
It has a because you have that 30-second delay. I have you on my TV, but I'm using my phone. I haven't seen it come up on the TV yet. Okay, there it is. The picture you have up now with the peppers, and that one is
Mm-hmm.
pork, fried pork. Is the plantain. The one in the top corner in the left, that's the yam that's fried up. It's called what is the name of it? It's not akra.
Okay.
It's, I don't know how you call the name of the
So
yam
this
in
right here
English,
is the
but it's like a root.
plantains on the
It's
right.
purplish. Yes.
Okay.
On the left.
On the left is
The one on the
the
left.
sweet
Yeah.
potato, and then in the back here
Mhm.
is the fritai.
Yeah. And then you don't have to do it with pork, but what my brothers, because there's 5 of them, what they want that they love that I make is called pate. It's kind of like a Jamaican patty, but the Haitian
Okay.
one is more fluffier. And I make a vegetable
Oh.
one for them because I have a brother that's he's vegetarian and he sometimes eats fish. So I have to make the saltfish one. I have to make the vegetable one, and then I make a beef one, and then I make a
Oh.
chicken one. And then when I make them, I make
Okay.
about like 300 of them.
300? How many
And then
people are coming?
because they hound me for that stuff. My brother paid over $100 for me to ship him my patties.
Oh, what did you call it? Could you spell it for me? Pape?
Pate. Or you can
P-A-T.
put Haitian
Oh,
patties in
pate.
front of it.
Okay. Haitian. Let's see what we have.
Hmm.
Ooh, wait, look. Ooh, some of these. Ooh, girl. Oh, my stomach is attacking me now. Oh, okay. What's in the middle of it? Oh, wait. It
You
look.
can no that wasn't it. The middle of it is filled. It's like a filo dough filled with any kind of meat that you want. But the traditional Haitian one is either saltfish or beef. But because when becoming Americanized, I kind of put different meats inside of it because, like I said, one of my brothers they don't eat meat,
So
so
it's
I had to
kind of
put
like an
saltfish and
empanada then.
yes, that's the homemade dough. I
But
don't
I
make the
see
dough. The
some
dough
egg in
belongs to me.
this.
Yes, there's no egg on it. It's the dough. It's
People
like phyllo dough.
people put an egg inside. Okay.
That's the breakfast one. If they want to make a breakfast one with eggs and sausage and onions and peppers,
Oh, okay, okay. All right.
and
You know,
then
I made some of
yeah,
these during the pandemic. It had apples inside. It was delicious.
yeah, yes,
Very
that's the
cinnamony.
same dough that I use.
But it looks like they're using a French pastry, a puff pastry dough.
Yes, that one they make that by hand. When they make that by hand, sometimes they don't have all the ingredients, or because
Oh,
there's no step recipe. It's like what you think it tastes is how you're making it. So sometimes they it's more fluffier and flaky, and sometimes it's
okay.
not. And the one that's not flaky, they call it pate corde, which means it's like that's why you see a little roll in the tip, how it's roll at the end. That
Mm,
means it's dendeng, corde, it means dendeng. But the one that's more
interesting.
flaky, or the traditional one that they serve at parties, like if people's having communions or weddings and stuff like that, they will serve more of the traditional flaky one. And
Oh, this
yeah,
says
so
boucher, cheesy
hmm
Haitian style pate à chaud. Mm,
yeah,
okay.
it's pretty good. Last time I went there was June 2019, and I made them almost 300 patties between the 5 of them. They split them.
How did you get all of that dough? This is a lot. That's 300. So
Yeah.
this one right
Oh.
here, the codfish patties. This looks
Mhm.
like the French puff pastry. Is this the traditional one or is the one that's shaped like
Yes.
the Jamaican patty the
Yes.
traditional one?
No. The one with the puff pastries is the traditional one.
How were they getting puff pastry back in the days in Haiti? Because you know you have to have that
The,
ice and the butter and all of that.
no, they use Crisco.
Oh.
The big lard of Crisco. What they would do is they would take it, they'll mix it with the flour and a little salt, and then they'll roll it out, and then they'll fold it, and then they'll roll it out, and then they'll fold it. That's
Got
what
you.
creates the flakes,
Yeah, I know.
like
I saw a
layered flakes.
tutorial on
But
how
it's a
to.
lot of work.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
So if they don't roll it out and fold it, it's not you're not gonna get the flaky effect. So that's why you see a lot of them is not as puffy as the other one because your arms will get tired from doing
I
it.
mean, if
So
you're
what I
doing
do is I
300 of
buy the dough.
them, I bet you do. Okay, I see the saltfish one now. Child, you
Mhm.
making a lot of people hungry this evening, but I I see a heart attack in some people's future. Let me come take this off the screen for a moment. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's very
Oh, you're
interesting.
welcome.
Listen, fried dough is delicious. But when you start doing all
Yes, it
that
is.
lard and everything, that's how you doing yours now with lard, fat back.
Well, back in the day, that's what they used to use.
I mean,
Now it's
like,
more, conventional. They use better materials. But
oh,
the some of the cooking instructions are not really passed to the new generation.
oh,
So there's a lot of accommodation that's being made to some of the recipes, and they basically Americanize it somewhat with
ah,
products. But when
I
you go to
see.
Haiti to visit Haiti, you get the actual Haitian stuff.
What do you think about
So,
this one
but
right here? It looks more homemade than some of the other ones. Like some of the other puff pastry look store bought, but what do you think of
yeah,
this one?
which one? The store bought
No, the
one?
one that's up on the screen right now. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll give you a chance for it to come up. Because this one looks like it has the fork stuff around the edges, so it looks like it's more homemade, and it still has the multiple layers.
Oh yeah, that's the one that is traditional. That's the
Oh,
traditional one. That's the
very
one I make.
interesting.
I use a fork
Oh,
to close it. That the markings that you see is that when the dough is like doughy, you use a fork to press it down so it can glue together. And then when you bake it,
okay.
it rises and it has that fork mark on it.
Oh, you bake it, you don't fry it.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Oh,
you
how
bake it.
interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
This one is vegan Haitian patties. Very interesting. We learned something new today. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
I
you,
make
thank
some
you.
vegetable too. When I used to sell
Mm-hmm.
them, I made a mixture of vegetables, peppers, broccoli, uh, spinach,
You know what?
cauliflower, and then I'll season them and then I'll put it in there.
I tried to make one of these filled with vegetables before, but no matter what I did, it was the vegetables were too juicy.
What you do is you don't cook the vegetables all the way. You cook them halfway. So when you
Oh.
bake it, it's being cooked twice, so you won't get
Got you,
as much
got you.
juice.
Got you, got you, got you. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We got off onto a tangent when we started talking about food. But so your mother's in the ground already?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Is your mother in the ground already?
Um, I don't know. Because I mean, with all the stuff that's also going on with Haiti right now, with the assassination of the president,
Yeah.
I don't know what And then my sister, she sent me an overprice of how much the funeral is gonna cost. I'm like, look, all I'm sending is this. That's it. That's
Oh,
all
so
you're
you're
getting out of me.
sending money?
Yeah, I'll send the money, to help out with the funeral expenses, but
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I'm not going. Mm-mm,
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm
How
not
much are you
going.
sending?
She tell me it's like $35,000 Haitian dollars, but I talked to a couple of people. They said that's not that the funeral doesn't even cost half of that. So I was like, I know, because they lie to me all the time, and
How much are you
to get me to
sending?
spend more money than I need to. I'm sending 200.
How much is that in Haitian dollars?
It's 18,000.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
What?
a little bit over 18,000. A little bit
So
over
they're saying that the
18,000.
funeral costs 400 US and you're sending 200?
No, no, 35,000 Haitian dollars. Yeah,
35,000
about
is
yeah, yeah,
400
about you're
USD.
right, about 400 US. I'm
So you're
sending 200
sending,
because they're gonna do the wake and all that stuff too.
so you are sending money then. Okay.
Yeah, I
Wow. I didn't
mean,
know the difference between the dollar was so grand. You could bury a person for
yeah,
$400?
yeah.
Hmm.
The value of their dollar is very low. It's fluctuated all over the years, but this is the most I've ever seen it. Really,
Wow.
last
Very
time I went to Haiti
interesting.
was in 2005.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, you know what? We appreciate you taking the time to bravely tell your story and hoping that it will help somebody out there. Make sure that you do. Have you gotten back into therapy?
Yes, I have. And then the guy that I was paired with, I didn't really like him. So, but you know how the VA works. It takes forever to switch.
When was the last time you spoke with your therapist?
I think like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and so you're
Yeah,
trying to
cause
switch now?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The VA does called telehealth.
Okay, well, we're happy that you did move forward and take the steps. So all you're doing now is waiting for a new person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that there could be some additional healing
Oh yeah,
that
definitely.
centered around your mom and all that situation, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yes, that is very true.
we appreciate you
Thank you for
calling
calling
in.
me because I can never get through.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you. You
All
have a
right.
good rest
Have
of
a
your
good night.
evening. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this has been a dynamic discussion. We stayed on a little longer than we thought we would, but I thought that it was a great conversation and with so many needed parts in it. So we appreciate all of you for coming out. All right. So listen, go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is, what is the self-love lesson from all of this? The self-love lesson to me from all of this is for women really knowing your worth and knowing what it is that you are attracting into your life and really standing firm and attracting that. And then for men, doing the work. Well, both men and women doing the work, but I think nowadays, in general, women are doing more work than men are, right? Go ahead and like the video, thumbs up the video. I feel like women are doing more work than men are in terms of personal healing and growth, etc. So I think it's important for people to stay vigilant with their mental, psychological health. So boundaries, love yourself. The show came together so well. Dip, it's so nice to see you back here. Self-preservation is the key. Yeah, preserving self, loving self, knowing that you deserve to be treated with love and kindness. Knowing you deserve to be treated with love and kindness and just standing firm in that. So, listen, I appreciate each of you for coming out. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. Know yourself, get therapy. Know your worth, get therapy. It's okay to avoid family. Thank you. Change is good. All right. Somebody else got blocked silently when she was on the phone because I thought this person was just trolling. They didn't deserve to get the shout out. So I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all of the Cash Apps. Thank you to all of the people. Hey! Come on, y'all. Hey! Oh, it stopped too soon. Okay. All right, so listen, I will see you all in the next video. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is standing firm, developing yourself, knowing your worth, and standing firm in that. It is a whole new day. Welcome to the 14th, 7/14/21. Look at that. 7/14/21. You know what that means, right? Today is the lucky day, multiples of 7. So listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. Listen, let's go out to some soca. All right. Come on, y'all. Hey! Click over here for the videos. There's my links. And I appreciate each one of you for coming out to the conversation. Get a person who is worthy of you. Hey, hey, hey. All right. I'll see you all in the next video. Hey, you know what? I love me some soca. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey! Hey! I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.